செய்யப்பட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. குறிப்பாக 50 படுக்கைகள் இருந்த நிலையில் கூடுதல் படுக்கைகள் தற்போது நீங்கள் பார்க்கலாம். தொடர்ந்து ஆம்புலன்ஸ்கள் வந்த வண்ணமாகவே இருக்கின்றன. தனியார் மருத்துவமனைகளில் 50க்கும் மேற்பட்டோர் சிகிச்சை பெற்று வந்த நிலையில தீவிர சிகிச்சையில் இருக்கக்கூடியவங்களை எல்லாமே தற்போது அரசு மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி மருத்துவமனைக்கு மாற்றக்கூடிய நிகழ்வுகள் தற்போது நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. முதல்வர் அவர்களின் அறிவுரைப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கூடுதலாக தற்போது 2 அமைச்சர்கள் இப்ப தற்போது கல்வி
விஜய் பரப்புரை செய்த இடத்தில் ஏற்பட்ட அந்த கூட்ட நெரிசல் காரணமாக உயிரிழந்தவர்களுடைய எண்ணிக்கை 29 என்று கடைசியாக தகவல் கிடைத்திருக்கிறது. அதனை நம்முடைய செய்தியாளரும் உறுதிப்படுத்தி இருக்கிறார். தொடர்ந்து நம்முடைய செய்தியாளர் ரகுவரனிடம் பேசலாம். ரகுவரன், திடீரென்று இந்த கூட்ட நெரிசல் ஏற்பட்டதற்கான காரணம் என்ன?
அதாவது இந்த பிரச்சாரமானது 12 மணிக்கு நடைபெறும் என்று தமிழக வெற்றிக் கழகத்தின் அதிகாரப்பூர்வ அறிவிப்பானது அறிவிக்கப்பட்டது. ஆனா விஜய் அவர்கள் திருச்சிக்கு வந்ததே பாத்தீங்கன்னா 10:30 மணிக்கு தான் வந்தாரு. அவருக்கு இது நாமக்கல்ல 8 மணிக்கு பிரச்சாரம் தொடங்கும் அப்படின்னு கட்சியின் சார்பாக சொல்லி இருந்தாலும் அவர் திருச்சிக்கு வந்ததே பாத்தீங்கன்னா 10:30க்கு தான். அவர் பிரச்சாரம் நடைபெறும் இடத்திற்கு வந்தது மதியம் 2 மணிக்கு தான். அப்போ காலையிலிருந்தே விடிய காலையிலிருந்தே ஏராளமான கூட்டம், வெயில்ல சாப்பிடாம தண்ணி இல்லாம நிறைய பேர் நீண்ட நேரம், ஒரு 10 மணி நேரத்திற்கு மேலாக ஏராளமான தொண்டர்களும் ரசிகர்களும் காத்துட்டே இருந்தாங்க. இது முக்கிய காரணமா பார்க்கப்படுது. ஏன்னு சொன்னா இந்த கரூரை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா காலையில இருந்தே ரசிகர்கள் அங்க நிக்கிறாங்க. கூட்டம் அங்கேயும் இங்கேயும் எங்கேயுமே நகர முடியாத சூழல் இருந்தது. தண்ணி பிரச்சனை இருந்து, தண்ணி இல்லாம இருந்தது. அதிகமான வெயில், ஒதுங்குவதற்கு கூட இடமில்லாத சூழல் இருந்ததுனால நீண்ட நேரம் அவங்க நின்றதுனாலையும் அந்த கடைசி கட்டத்தில் அந்த பேருந்து, அவருடைய பேருந்து மிக நீளமான பேருந்து, அந்த பேருந்துடன் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய வாகனங்கள் தொடர்ச்சியாக வந்ததன் காரணமாக ஒரு திடீர் கூட்ட நெரிசலானது ஏற்பட்டது. விஜய் அவர்களுடைய வாகனம் இந்த பகுதிக்கு வரும்போதே பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த கூட்ட நெரிசலானது ஏற்பட்டது. அவர் பேசிக்கொண்டு இருக்கும் போதே பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த ஆம்புலன்ஸ்கள் அதிகமாக வர தொடங்கியதை பார்க்கலாம். இப்போ அதன் காரணமாகவே தான் அந்த நெரிசலானது ஏற்பட்டது. அதை நம்மளும் உணர முடிந்தது. ஒரு கட்டுப்பாடு இல்லாத என காவல்துறையின் சார்பாக நிறைய வழிமுறைகள்லாம் கொடுத்திருந்தாலும், விதிமுறைகள்லாம் கொடுத்திருந்தாலும் எதையுமே கட்டுப்படுத்தாத ஒரு சூழ்நிலை தான் அங்க இருந்தது பார்க்கலாம். ஏன்னா பொது சொத்துக்களுக்கு எந்த விதத்திலையும் அவங்க பொது சொத்துக்கள் மீது ஏறுறது, கரண்ட் கம்பங்கள் மீது ஏறுறது அப்படின்னு ஒரு கட்டுப்பாடே இல்லாத இடமாக தான் இருந்தது. ஏற்கனவே அந்த பகுதியில் மின்சார துண்டிப்பு செய்யப்பட்டிருந்தது. மின்சாரம் இல்லாததுனால இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பாதிப்பு பெருமளவு குறைந்திருக்குன்னு தான் சொல்ல வேணும். ஏன் அப்படின்னா மின்சார கம்பிகளை போட்டு பிச்சு நிறைய அந்த பகுதிகளில் நாங்க இருந்த அங்க நேரில் பார்க்க முடிந்தது. வீடுகளுக்கு செல்லக்கூடிய மின்சார ஒயர்கள், ஏராளமான ஒயர்கள் அங்க பிடுங்கப்பட்டிருந்தது. அந்த அளவுக்கு கூட்டம், அந்த யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாத சூழலில் ஆட்டம் கொண்டாட்டமா இருந்த இடம் தற்போது இது போன்ற ஒரு நிலைமை ஏற்பட்டு இருக்கிறது.
ரகு, நீங்க இருக்கிற மருத்துவமனையில எவ்வளவு பேர் மொத்தமாக அனுமதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்காங்க? பலி எண்ணிக்கை உயர்ந்து கொண்டே செல்வதற்கு என்ன காரணம்?
பலி எண்ணிக்கை உயர்ந்து கொண்டே செல்வதற்கு என்னன்னா திடீரென்று ஏற்பட்ட நெரிசல். ஏன்னா ஒரு 100க்கும் மேற்பட்டவங்க, ஏன்னா ஒருத்தவங்க நிக்கிறதுக்கு இன்னொருத்தவங்க மேல சாயிறது, இன்னொருத்தவங்க மேல சாயிறது தான் நிக்கிறது. ஏன்னா ஒருத்தவங்க நிக்கிறதுக்கு அங்க இடம் இல்லை. அந்த அளவுக்கு கூட்டம் திடீரென்று ஒரு நெரிசல் ஏற்பட்டது. ஒரு 100 பேர் ஒட்டுமொத்தமாக அந்த பேருந்து, அது ஒரு 100 அடி சாலை. 100 அடி சாலையில ஒரு 60 அடி பேருந்து ஆனது திடீரென்று உள்ள நுழையுது. விஜய் அவர்களுடைய பேருந்து உள்ள நுழையும் போது பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த கூட்டம் எங்க போகும்? வேற வழி இல்ல. கூட்டத்துக்கு நெரிசல் ஏற்படுது. அந்த விஜயை பார்க்கணும், அவரோட போட்டோ எடுக்கணும், செல்ஃபி எடுக்கணும்னு நிறைய கும்பல் அவங்களும் நெருக்கடியில் உள்ளாகிறாங்க. அதனால ஒட்டுமொத்தமா எல்லாமே சேர்ந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனை தான் இந்த பகுதியில் ஏற்பட்டதை நம்ம நேரில் பார்க்க முடிந்தது. மிகவும் சோகமான நிகழ்வு இது. இந்த நிகழ்வை நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது உறவினர்கள்லாம் கதறி அழுது கொண்டே வந்து கொண்டு இருக்கிறத நம்ம பார்க்க முடிகிறது. ஏன்னா இந்த சம்பவம் நடந்த இடம், மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி இருக்கிற இடம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நியர்லி ஒரு 7 கிலோமீட்டர் தூரம் இருக்கு. அந்த தூரத்திற்கு அளவுக்கு இப்ப தனியார் அங்கங்க பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற தனியார் மருத்துவமனைகள், கிளினிக்ல அனுமதிக்கப்பட்டிருந்தவங்க எல்லாம் தற்போதுதான் 1 by 1, ஏன்னா ஆம்புலன்ஸ்கள் பற்றாக்குறை ஏற்பட்டுருச்சு. ஆம்புலன்ஸ் இல்லாம நிறைய உறவினர்களே பொண்ணை காப்பாத்துங்க, பிள்ளைய காப்பாத்துங்கன்னு அழுததெல்லாம் நம்ம கண் கூட பார்க்க முடிந்தது. மிகுந்த சோகத்தை ஏற்படுத்தி இருந்தது. ஏன்னா ஆம்புலன்ஸ்கள் அளவுக்கு 108 ஆம்புலன்ஸ்களும்
tragedy that has happened at this mega rally of Vijay's. Remember actor Vijay, who holds these sabhas every Saturday ever since the announcement of his political party, the TVK. He has been part of these massive rallies, and the kind of turnout that this it attracts is what has resulted in the stampede-like situation, and because of which there have been several people who have fainted, many of them children as well, and there are results or there are deaths that also are being reported. More than 10 to 11 people who have unfortunately died in the stampede that has happened at Vijay's rally in Karur. This is what we are picking up so far. We are also learning that Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has asked his ministers to go to the spot immediately. He's also put out a post on social media platform X. He's closely monitoring the situation, and this is what he is also looking at. It's a very, very worrying death toll that one learns of from this rally of Vijay's that was happening in Karur when this tragedy befell. In fact, remember, there have been several controversial statements that had been made by Vijay in the past, and what had happened today as well. And now we're learning very, very unfortunate figure of 29 people who've so far lost their lives. That's how much the number's gone up to. The casualties are constantly rising. This is the news that's coming in from Karur. The Chief Minister of the state says the news from Karur is worrying, requesting all to cooperate. The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is also saying the former Minister Senthil Balaji and Mr. Subramaniam have been rushed to the spot. 29 are feared to be dead after the stampede that happened at Vijay's rally. This tragedy struck Vijay's rally in Karur, and 29 people so far is the casualty figure. That's how unfortunate the situation is at the moment. 29 people feared dead after the stampede. These are the visuals from the very areas of people rushed to the hospital, ambulances that have been rushed to the spot. How there have been several of those people who have fainted also being brought to the hospital, but the unfortunate figure, that of 29 deaths that one is learning of from Vijay's rally in Karur, is the big part. This is the massive tragedy that one talks of, one learns of from Vijay's rally that was happening in Karur. At least 29 fear to have died. Tragedy struck Karur as this rally that was being attended with by very many of the admirers and fans of Vijay. Remember, a very popular actor of the state of Tamil Nadu, turned politician. He floated his political outfit TVK. He's been holding these massive rallies. He has been speaking against the DMK, against the AIADMK, also the BJP. All of this was happening when this tragedy struck. My colleague Purnima has been tracking all the updates from the rally of Vijay in Karur. Distressing visuals also coming to fore. Purnima, we are now learning the death toll has gone up to 29, and the numbers could be many more. Purnima, if you are able to hear me. Tragedy at Vijay's rally, 29 people fear to have died. This is what we are learning at the moment. We are also, in fact, learning of how the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin is taking stock of the situation. He talks about how the situation that is emerging out of Karur, which is rather worrying. He also, in fact, goes on to say that he's gotten two of his ministers to leave for the spot immediately, and he's mentioned Senthil Balaji and Mr. Subramaniam, who have been told to reach Karur as soon as possible and take stock of the situation. He has, in fact, we are told, is closely watching this entire news that's emerging out of Karur. A stampede-like situation that occurred at Vijay's rally in Karur left many people fainting. Now the death toll has risen to 29. So far, 29 people. That is what is the figure that we are learning of. My colleague Purnima is also with us now. Purnima, if you can hear me, death toll is increasing. 29 people so far. What more can you tell us, Purnima? Unfortunate events emerging out of Karur.
Absolutely disturbing incident taking place in Karur. While Vijay started his speech, several people fainted. The initial estimate said that at least 20 people fainted and they were rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, initial estimates said that three feared dead. But at the moment, we've been speaking to a district administration there and ministers there who are monitoring the situation closely. Health Minister Ma Subramanian confirmed that 29 people have died, 50 more being treated at hospitals in Karur, both government and private hospital. Apart from that, doctors from Salem and Trichy have also been dispatched to Karur, considering that there were several people who fainted. So to ensure that every patient has a doctor, they are in fact dispatching doctors from Trichy as well as Salem, 20 odd doctors from each of these districts being taken to Karur district. But at the moment, Health Minister confirms that 29 have died, 50 more undergoing treatment. Remember, some of those who fainted include children, senior citizens, women. So clearly, at the moment, everybody is monitoring the situation. Chief Minister has asked two other ministers to go to Karur and monitor the situation closely. Doctors being dispatched to Karur, and at the moment, the death toll has risen to 29, is what the health minister has confirmed.
Chief Minister saying MK Stalin has also put out a tweet of his. In fact, hold on to that thought. We have Mr. Saravanan of the DMK now joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Saravanan, a very, very unfortunate incident that's been reported out of Karur. 29 deaths that we learn of. What about the permission? How is it allowed? So many people were allowed to gather at a rally of Vijay's, and every week he's been doing these sabhas, as he puts it.
See, it's very tragic. We are not able to bear the fact that 29 people are dead. How? How? Because of the irresponsibility, the criminal negligence, the culpability of the organizers of this rally. See, they deliberately, the Twitter post of Mr. Vijay said at 8:45 in the morning, please assemble. And 9 o'clock he starts from Chennai. What an audacity. What kind of criminal negligence is this? And he wants those cadres to wait in the hot sun. He does not want them to meet in a meeting point. He wants them to stand in the hot sun the whole day. And see what has happened. And the police has made it very, very clear. The organizers of this rally have violated all the conditions with impunity. And every time an allegation is made, oh, DMK is trying to throttle us, DMK is trying to throttle us, the police is not giving permission there. Police is not giving permission for him to go and give a rally in a market. This is the juvenile attitude of the TVK cadres, TVK leaders. And see what has happened. 29 people, including 3 children, are dead. Who's responsible? Mr. Vijay is culpable. He deliberately delayed the rally so that it will project as though a huge crowd is waiting. And everything was calculated. Their only calculation is to grab eyeballs. Drone shots of people waiting for him. See what has happened. Where is he? Where is he hiding now?
Absolutely. Mr. Saravanan, I do understand, because the situation is really grim, and we do understand the emotions are also surging. We're talking about children here. We're talking about 29 people who have died. But clearly, because it's a DMK government, one also needs to look at accountability. How was Vijay doing these rallies every week, week after week? We're talking about August 21st, a controversial rally where people were thrown from the ramp. He had FIRs lodged against him. There is another rally on the 13th of September. Yes. There were reports of chaos. Public property was damaged. Another rally on 20th where another controversy he had quoted, and yet these rallies continued, sir. How at all?
See, that's what I said. When conditions were imposed, your same television, your anchors questioned us, questioned me. Are you afraid of Vijay? Why are you not giving permission to Vijay? It was the questions posed by anchors like you. You are creating a situation as though the DMK is afraid of Vijay. That is why the police is not giving permission. We gave permission. We gave the conditions. The police stipulated the conditions. But to show grab eyeballs. Stupid people to just have drone shots.
And we
So
now
many
know,
people,
we
they
are
killed
now
29
learning,
people now.
we are now learning that the death toll has gone up to 31, sir. The
Oh
death
my
toll is
God.
up to 31. That's how unfortunate everything is. We
Oh my
also
God.
have
Oh
Top
my God.
Vadakkan of the BJP who's joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Vadakkan, this is beyond politics. People are dying. People have died because one man wanted a certain number of crowds to show on his drone shots that this is the kind of gathering that I attract. What is happening in Tamil Nadu, sir?
With the death of 31 innocent people, we convey our deep condolence to the bereaved family. This is an hour not to play politics. This is an hour when people are suffering. They're in the hospitals. This is a moment when we cannot control our tears. Innocent children killed, women killed, men killed. 31 is the latest figure that your channel is informing us. It is unfortunate that this is a lesson for all political parties, that rallies have to be managed properly. Law and order is a situation which the state government has stakes. If there was a proper intelligence from the local police that this kind of gathering is there, the Tamil Nadu government must act and not come out on television and blame the television channels for offences unknown. Now, this is a duty of DMK government. They have also failed, and this Vijay, I think, has hit the nail on his own coffin, because people are not going to accept this. This is the end of his political career. Let me tell you that this is not acceptable, and I think all parties across the board will not accept it. Now, if DMK tries to pass the buck, that police did not give permission, but what was the police doing? If permission was not given, why was such a big crowd allowed in the first place? And who tells you that somebody is going to blame the state government? Because it is your duty to act, and if you have not acted, don't pass the buck. And I think Vijay is equally responsible. The law must take its
Mr.
own
Savanand,
course.
would you like to
and
take
he
that?
must-
Would you like to take that? I really want to bring you in, and I want to in fact stay away from politics, because here we are talking about the death toll. We're talking about innocent people who have died. We also have Suman C. Raman, who is with us on the broadcast. Suman, not an opportune time that I would want to have spoken to you about what we are seeing emerge out of Tamil Nadu. We are seeing a new political party. We are seeing the leader of that party wanting this crowd assembled so that they can come, stay there, and then because of the excruciating heat, faint. Because of the humidity, faint. Because all they wanted to do was look at their favorite star, who had put out a tweet in the morning before he even leaves Chennai for Karur, that I am going to come at this part in Karur, come meet me there. What is happening?
No, this is a massive tragedy, and to be honest, it was not, unfortunately, it is not unexpected. There were warnings and warnings and warnings going on for the last month and a half. At every meeting of Vijay, the crowds were huge. There were questions of crowd control. There were, there was a meeting which he held where many people fainted because of, heat exhaustion. So this is not something which unfortunately, this was not unexpected. This should have been prevented. And the buck stops squarely with two sets of people. One is the TVK, Vijay and his party, and the second is the state government. It is the duty of these two, between them, they should have ensured proper crowd control. And if Vijay has violated, the police permissions that were given or the orders that were given, then the strictest action must be taken against him. Now we have to wait and see whether the government will act against Vijay.
Absolutely. And I mean, how is Mr. Saravanan or a representative of the DMK even coming on record and they're claiming that it is because the media accused them that you're scared of Vijay that we had to let it go? This is the state government. They are in power. The police is under them. If at all the police thought that this is not apt, such a gathering cannot be allowed for security reasons, there should have been a full stop. We're talking about 31 deaths.
Absolutely. This is the pure and simple, as we say, it is the buck eventually stops with the ruling government. The ruling government is responsible for law and order, and crowd control is essential part of that. Had they been more careful, perhaps they could have prevented it. If the organizers violated the rules that were laid out to them, action must be taken against the organizers. But there are two sets of groups who are responsible for this tragedy. One is the TVK itself. There is no doubt that they have been conducting these rallies in the most haphazard and dangerous manner. These meetings have been going on for, this is not the first one. We had one last Saturday. We had one the previous Saturday. We
Yes,
had
every
one.
Saturday,
We had
Sumant.
the
How
Nadu
with
meeting.
impunity is Vijay organizing such massive sabhas, as he terms it? In fact, if I take a look at the 21st August 2025 sabha of Vijay's, it quoted a lot of controversy. Literally, his Man Fridays were throwing people off the elevated ramp. He has FIRs against him because of it. And yet, these sabhas, these rallies continue.
No, I think the government. I mean, I really would not want to say this, but I think the government should have been more firm, and perhaps they felt that had they been firm, the sympathy would have gone to Vijay. If they had said you cannot, we will deny police permission, and they did deny the police permission in several places. So that itself made news. Vijay's party people took to social media and said, look, they are denying us police permission where other parties have already held meetings at the same place and so on. But that is how politics works. Eventually, the role of a ruling government is to maintain law and order and to ensure proper crowd control. Now, you can blame Vijay all you want, but the state government also has a responsibility, and between them is where the responsibility for this tragedy and disaster, which is unfolding. In fact, people say that the toll may even go up further. This is very, very unfortunate. And
Absolutely,
today
Sumant. We
the
are talking
crowd
about
was
children who were part of
unprecedented.
the crowd. Children who fainted in early on. We're talking about the early figure, which started from 20 people fainting. That number has gone up to over 50 people who have been admitted. To 31 people who we are now learning have died in this entire overcrowded rally because of a stampede, because of how they had trouble even breathing. We also have Mr. Vikram Singh, former IPS, now joining us. Mr. Singh, we had a member of the DMK, a spokesperson of the DMK, who's come on record, who's claimed that because we were being accused of stifling Vijay's voice, reluctantly we had to allow the police permission at certain areas. Vijay, without the police permission, also went about holding these rallies. They are trying to stay away from any kind of blame. How does one see this, sir?
This obviously is totally unacceptable. Permission is not given on the basis of emotive reasons or emotive grounds, on the basis of allegations and counter allegations. Once an application is made, it is the job of the local police and the administration to size up and assess the number of crowds and then to make police fail-proof and fool-proof arrangements, contingency plans, medical facilities, drinking water. Then you have a backup for a backup for a backup.
So I'll come to you in just a bit. We also have Ms. Tamilisai Soundarajan, who's from the BJP, also former governor. Ms. Soundarajan, very, very unfortunate piece of news that we are having to put out for our viewers. 31 people who have lost their life, all for attending the rally that Vijay was a part of.
Very painful, but the police should have predicted the amount of crowd and the people who are attending, and if at all such crowd, this is not the first time in Tamil Nadu. The ad show, which was in the beach, Marina Beach, in the stampede, 5 people died. The police just washed their hands. So here also we cannot say, because it's a duty of the party, it's a responsibility of the party to take care. They cannot say. The local police, the state police should have taken some action. They should have predicted what amount of the crowd will be there. And already I also appealed Vijay, because if he is organizing these campaigns on a weekend day, Saturday, holiday, this could draw more crowds, and there will be a very unfortunate stampede could happen. Today morning only I predicted that.
Okay.
So, but whatever may be the situation, because we cannot say a leader not to go for campaigns, there may be crowd, but it is the total responsibility of the state government to predict the crowd, to predict the situation, And they should have given all the safety measures. There's a very poor management of the crowd when we see in the TV. So the police should have taken, so this is the responsibility of the government. The CM should take responsibility for this calamity.
Absolutely, ma'am. I'd also want to understand from you, since you said that you had predicted that this sort of a tragedy could happen, there needs to be security measure that needs to be placed, and clearly the DMK government in the state is answerable and responsibility must be put on them. But I also want to understand, was it not an attempt on part of Vijay to in fact garner that kind of a crowd just for this kind of image that we are putting out on the screens? We can see that kind of gathering there. Of course, it's boasts of his star power, but is that enough? He, with his political party, wants to eventually govern Tamil Nadu, but is this how he wanted to achieve this with 31 deaths?
No, that is very unfortunate. Already I also mentioned, because he is telling on one single day, just keeping away all the 5 days, that is on a weekend day, so people will be motivated, because people are always fascinated to see an actor. So he also should take some responsibility, and he also should predict, because if they want to be a politician, they should act like a politician. They cannot act like an actor. So they should, when I can predict seeing the TV, he also should have predicted visibly seeing naturally, personally. So why he also did? Because they are very proud about the crowd, but they are not bothered about the suffering of the people.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and ma'am, we're talking at a time when we had already seen something which has happened in a state like Karnataka, a victory celebration of Bangalore, the cricket team, the IPL team, turned really tragic. And now this, and what is bizarre is that DMK is saying our hands were tied. Had we stopped this rally, Vijay would have accused us of stifling dissent or stifling his voice.
How can a government can tell like that? Just for blaming, not to bear the blame, you will kill the people, huh? It's very unfortunate the words are coming from the DMK functionaries like that. Whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the unruly crowd, it is the responsibility of the government. Okay, if an actor is coming, okay, but you can alert them. But already they have got permission, and already they have applied for permission, and they gave 23 rules to be followed. And even the previous day, the police was telling the fans and the parties also should take up the crowd. That cannot be done. So
Absolutely.
Whatever may be the situation, the government should take action. The government is responsible. The government just cannot wash their hands because the crowd is too much and we are tight because we will be blamed. So we gave the permission. How can they do that? They are conducting big rallies. They are conducting full police forces with them. When they can monitor the crowd when CM is coming. But why can't they monitor? Today morning, AI is applied for the security of the CM. 29 cameras. But when there is so much of precaution for the security of a CM, why can't they give security for the people, protection for the people? Highly painful, and I strongly condemn the police of the Tamil Nadu state and even Chief Minister.
Ma'am, I'm glad you brought in that point because, just some time back there was another controversial comment that had come in from the DMK. Now, in the midst of this political struggle, this is what is happening. The DMK accuses Vijay of being the B team of your party, where they go on to say he's managing to garner the kind of security cover, the kind of crowd, the kind of protocol that is reserved for the Prime Minister of the country. And that is why we are not able to do much. This is the accusation, a political argument that's coming in from the DMK.
So how can they say? Because last time itself, Vijay told, if the great persons, the VIPs are coming, won't you arrange the people? Won't you streamline the people? So whatever may be the situation, because that should not be a difference between the CM and the common people. Everyone, life is life. So when CM is getting the AIS supported security, they have so advanced. Why can't they do it for the people? Why they didn't predict such a crowd? So ambulance facilities, where were the medical booths? So just like that they cannot, because this is a huge crowd, unmanageable crowd. Same thing happened in Marina Beach. So I don't know, no words to condemn no words of sorrow. I pray the number should not increase.
Right.
So the government, but I strongly believe, I strongly condemn the attitude of the government, and they should take the responsibility. They should just cannot wash their hands.
Absolute horror that is unfolding out of Karur. But Ms. Rajan, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your views and thoughts about this unfortunate incident. 31 people who've lost their life. We have our guests who continue to be with us on the broadcast. We also are now joined by Tushar Gupta, senior journalist. Tushar, what do you make out of this tragedy that is emerging out of the state of Tamil Nadu? All for one man who wanted to show his clout, who wanted to show that this is the number of people, number of crowd that I can, in fact, gather by just making a small announcement that I'll be here at this particular time?
This is mind-boggling on a Saturday evening to come across a news like this. 30 people have died and all for someone's star power. Look, I understand aspiring CMs or aspiring politicians want to prove a point by garnering a certain number of people at one place. But what about the accountability? What about responsibility? And the speaker before me, the BJP leader, she was right when she said that the state government can also not wash off their hands, their responsibility. But the buck stops with actor Vijay. He knew what happened at his previous rally. There was a person who died also in his previous rally, and he should have taken lessons. Look, at the end of the day, he's there to serve the people. If he wants to jump from a role on screen to actual political life, he's there to serve the people. This is not how you serve the people, by putting their lives in danger. You want to make a political point, fine, but you have to consult the government on what kind of arrangements can be made, what kind of crowd can be actually properly managed. You know, all these things need to be taken care of. This is just about star power, and I hope the people of Tamil Nadu, the families of those who have been injured and the ones who have lost their lives, I mean, they deserve justice, and there should be some accountability and some responsibility. It cannot just be about star power.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, the buck stops at Vijay. There is another accusation, of course, and we have been underlining how the state government cannot absolve itself from any kind of responsibility. We're talking about several people who have lost their lives, several children who are battling for their life because they were also present at that rally. But I did have a member of the DMK earlier on. He makes a mention of this tweet that has been put out by Vijay before he even leaves Chennai. He makes an announcement of his presence at a particular rally, asking people to gather at 8:30 when he's left Chennai at 9 in the morning. He wanted people to come there, wait in the sun, and of course get dehydrated. We can understand all of that is coming to fore. All
46 பேர் தனியார் மருத்துவமனையில் 12 பேர் மாவட்ட மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி மருத்துவமனையில் சிகிச்சை பெற்று வருகின்றார்கள். நம்முடைய மாவட்ட மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி மருத்துவமனையில் பணியாற்றக்கூடிய அனைத்து மருத்துவர்களும் இப்பொழுது உடனடியாக பணிக்கு வரவழைக்கப்பட்டு சிகிச்சை அளித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்றார்கள். கூடுதலாக நாமக்கல் மற்றும் சேலம் மாவட்டங்களிலிருந்து மருத்துவர்களை வரவழைப்பதற்கு உத்தரவிடப்பட்டு இன்று இரவே அவர்கள் அனைவரும் இங்கு வந்து சிகிச்சை அளிப்பதற்கு வருகை தந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றார்கள்.
மெடிக்கல் டீம் போட்டிருக்கோம் சார். ஏன்னா மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ்ல ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அளவு தான் டீம் இருக்கும். இப்ப நிறைய பேர் வந்திருக்கனால என்ன மாதிரி மெடிக்கல்
எல்லா டாக்டர்ஸும் டியூட்டி ஷிப்ட்ல இருப்பாங்க. எல்லா டாக்டர்ஸும் இப்ப டியூட்டிக்கு வந்துட்டாங்க. கூடுதலா நாமக்கல் மற்றும் சேலத்துல இருந்து கூடுதல் மருத்துவர்கள் இப்ப வந்துகிட்டு இருக்காங்க. தேவையான அளவுக்கு மருத்துவ மாத்திரைகள் உபகரணங்கள் எல்லாமே இருக்கு. மருத்துவர்களும் இருக்காங்க. பாதிக்கப்பட்டவங்களுக்கு தகுந்த சிகிச்சை மிக வேகமாக வழங்கப்பட்டு வருகின்றன.
தனியார் மருத்துவமனையில சிகிச்சை பெற்றுட்டு இருக்காங்க. அவங்களை எப்படி கண்காணிக்கிறதுக்கு
இப்ப நான் தனியார் மருத்துவமனைக்கு நாங்களே போய் நேரில் பார்த்தோம். அங்க டாக்டரையும் சந்திச்சோம். அங்க இருக்க மருத்துவர்களும் சிகிச்சை அளிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அவங்களையும் பார்த்து அவங்ககிட்ட சொல்லிட்டு வந்திருக்கோம். எந்த சிகிச்சைகள் இருந்தாலும் சரி, தனியார் மருத்துவமனை அனுமதிக்கப்பட்டவங்களுக்கு அவங்ககிட்ட எதுவும் கட்டணம்லாம் வாங்காதீங்க, நாங்க பாத்துக்கிறோம்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம். இந்த தகுந்த சிகிச்சை கொடுத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. உயர் சிகிச்சை தான் கொடுக்குறாங்க. முதலமைச்சர் தான் உத்தரவிட்டாங்க. மாவட்ட ஆட்சியர், காவல்துறை அதிகாரிகள் நேரில் இருந்து அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான அனைத்து உதவிகளையும் செய்யணும், உயர் சிகிச்சை கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது முதலமைச்சருடைய ஆணை.
குழந்தைகள் நிறைய பேர் இருக்கிறத பார்க்க முடியுது. அவங்களுக்கு சிறப்பு சிகிச்சைக்கு
எல்லாத்துக்குமே தனித்தனியா சிகிச்சை, எல்லா சம்பந்தப்பட்ட குழந்தைகள் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட மருத்துவர்களும் இப்ப பணியில் இருக்காங்க. முழுவதுமா மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி சேர்ந்திருக்கக்கூடிய அனைத்து மருத்துவர்களும் இப்ப பணிக்கு திரும்பி இருக்காங்க, சிகிச்சையில இருக்காங்க. இப்ப இருக்காங்க. மொத்தம் 31 பேர் இருந்திருக்காங்க சார். அதுல கொஞ்சம் குழந்தைகளும் இருக்காங்க, பெண்கள் இருக்காங்க.
Officially, we have been told that 31 people, including 6 children, have perished in this tragedy.
உயிர் சேதம் ஏற்படாத அளவிற்கு மாவட்ட நிர்வாகம், அரசு மருத்துவமனை, மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி மருத்துவமனை விரைவா சிகிச்சை கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க.
They've all been moved. The injured have been moved to the hospital. That is the update.
விசாரணை குழு என்ன பண்ணிருக்கீங்க சார்? எதனால என்ன
We're now joined in by our colleague, Mr. Vivek Narayan, who's joining us on the broadcast. Vivek, unfortunate events. And now we also hear Senthil Balaji. He is confirming 31 people who have died, out of which 6 of them are children.
Exactly. This is the official confirmation that we have. As of now, 31 people, 31 lives have been lost in an extremely unfortunate and an incident which could have been avoided in Karur in Tamil Nadu. This is Karur is about 50 kilometers from about 100 kilometers from Madurai, and so what has happened is that Vijay was supposed message saying that he was going to be there at in the morning,
Okay.
and he reached there well after noon, and there were people, Kada, everyone waiting there for him. And at the end of the day, the police, the system just couldn't hold the kind of surge which happened there. Who is to fault? We can look at all these things at a later date, perhaps, or maybe later in the day. But it is a fault of both the government the government of the day of the system and of Mr. Vijay himself, because you have to remember there is a backdrop to it. The government had asked him and set a set of 30 rules that he should follow before he sets on a rally. And Vijay had challenged it. He said, why is it that only 30 sets are for me? These sets, 30 sets of rules are not just for Mr. Vijay. It's there for Union Home Minister, for the Prime Minister of India, for everyone. These 30 sets includes the kind of policing, also includes the kind of discipline that a so-called VVIP has to follow when he or she is there. And somehow, sadly, they did not follow it. And if he says that he's going to be at 11 o'clock, he'd better be that 11, 12, 1, 2. He can't be coming at 11. He can't be coming well into the evening and causing such deaths. And remember, as I said, it's not just his fans. These are infants who have died, who have lost their lives.
Yes.
And
Yes.
31, as Ma Subramaniam had earlier told News 18, official death toll is 31. And we don't know how much more it will rise. And the number of people who've been injured, people who've been waiting in the sun and going there and waiting for Vijay. Listen, we all, there are no two ways about Vijay being a superstar or liking him or not liking him. But the fact that politicians have to act in a more responsible manner and the rule of the law is something which is for everybody, whether you are a VVIP, whether you are a politician, you are in governance or not, is something which is again time and again being underlined, and it's just being flouted
And
in
Vivek,
Tamil Nadu.
even as we speak, the death toll has climbed to 33. We also are learning that the Chief Minister is going to be visiting Karur. He has also put out a tweet. If you could take us through the tweet of MK Stallin's. Also, we're learning of a tweet by TVK Palani-Swami. If you can tell us about what these leaders are also saying.
To the tweets of these two ministers, but I'm sure it would be condoning the death of these individuals. But what one would want, at least at this very late stage, is not to pay politics, EPS, OPS, DMK. That can't be happening at this moment. This is a moment when you have to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, this is responsible for death of children. You've been challenging the order of a government who said that there are 30 sets of rules that you have to follow before you start a political rally. I mean, if you make a filmy statement out of that doesn't
and yet
work.
that was
Absolutely.
In fact, we will get Mr. A. Saravanan of the DMK to throw more light on that. Mr. Saravanan, there was a point that you were earlier making of Vijay tweeting out his presence at this rally in Karur early in the morning when he had not even left Chennai, and then arriving way beyond noon, where people who had assembled in the sun waiting for him, and then there was the surge in the crowd that the police could not manage. But so far, what we are learning is that the death toll has gone up to 33, sir.
Wow, my God. See, this is very heartbreaking. That 33 people are dead because they just wanted to have a glimpse of their star.
And 6 of them children, sir.
Oh my God, 6. Unbelievable. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. 6 children. We were seeing earlier how the children were also brought in for the rally. I don't know. 6 children. My God.
How did Vijay go on to flout each and every rule that was put forth? You have spoken about the 30 rules, 30 sets of rules, which are not just for one particular a leader, a politician. It is the same rule for the Prime Minister of the country even.
Yes, yes. See, that's what. See, they have made this deliberate ploy of making it late. He put out a tweet at that, please assemble at 8:45, and he starts from Chennai at 9 a.m. And
Yes.
after starting there, 6 hours. Today is a very hot day, and interior of Tamil Nadu, it's hot, and they were all waiting. See, when you are not there at that appointed time, that anticipation builds. So people who are here, the people who have come to the rally and the bystanders, they'll all be interested. Something is happening, they'll all be interested. There will be a surge. And let's also not forget that they have given a letter stating that there will only be 10,000 people. Why did they give this, that there will be only 10,000 people? Because if it is only
You're saying
10,000
this is for
people,
today's rally, sir?
yes, today's rally. I think the letter is there out in the public. Twitter's,
Okay.
lot of people are tweeting that letter.
But from
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
rallies every week, did you not see a pattern of the kind of crowd surge
See,
that
see,
has
that's what-
been seen in
Yeah.
Vijay's rallies?
Yeah, I'll come to that.
Yes.
You're right. See, the first instance, again, they flouted because they did not seek any permission to come to the airport when he started the first rally at Trichy. He did not seek anybody's permission to be there. But all of a sudden, all of them were there at the Trichy airport. So from Trichy airport to the place where he is going, it took a lot of time for them. And for what? So that the drone shots could capture the crowd? What kind of narcissism is this? And for that, now 33 people are dead, including 6 children. For silly eyeball grabbing graphics, you have given 33 people away. And in the next rally, what did he do? They did not organize this kind of a thing. From Trichy to Nagapatnam, he went in 45 minutes. Because they did not organize anyone to intercept him at Trichy airport.
But my question still remains to you, sir. Why
Yes.
and how is Vijay being
Yes, I'm
allowed to
coming
do
to
this
that.
with and while you say that, we also have many more reactions that are coming in, including the Prime Minister of the country. He's also just put out this tweet. He's talking about the unfortunate incident during this political rally in Karur. In Tamil Nadu, he says it is deeply saddening. He says, my thoughts are with the family who've lost their loved ones, wishing strength to them in this difficult time, praying for a swift recovery to all those injured. And remember, there are over 50 people who are still in the hospital. Mr. Sarvanam, yes, go ahead, please. You're making that point.
You were asking, were not the rules in place? They violated the rules with impunity. They say only 10,000 people will there. We have made arrangements for 10,000 people at a particular point. But when he is not coming there at that particular time, what happens? Can we cancel the rally? See, even earlier, what they were saying? Oh, DMK is afraid of Vijay. They are giving so much of unbelievable conditions. And he made a stupid comment. Oh, if it is the Prime Minister, will you give such conditions? We gave even the Prime Minister's rally, Mr. Modi's rally, the same conditions. The police imposed those very same conditions. But he did that. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to play silly, stupid politics. And now 33 people are dead. Now the question is this. Who is responsible? Where is Mr. Vijay hiding?
But
Will he
Mr.
take
Saravanan,
responsibility for
I
this?
want to understand from you. I know it's a very, very difficult time. Right now, we have to look at the number of people who are still getting treated, and we are hoping that the death toll doesn't go up. But there are questions against the DMK government. There are questions on responsibility that needs to be answered of you, sir. We have all the guests who are with me on the broadcast. We have Tushar Gupta who's also making that exact same point. While the buck stops at Vijay, while he needs to answer what has he done here, so does the DMK.
Why should the DMK answer?
Why should you not, sir?
See, we will see. The thing is this. That's what. That is why the reason why I explained the background is this. How we have been giving them the conditions if they violate the conditions. See, if he comes at 8:45, if he had come at 8:45 a.m., would there be this many people? No, there would have been not even 10,000 people. If he had strictly followed the protocol, strictly followed the rule, or strictly followed the undertaking that he has given, there would have been absolutely no problem.
Okay.
At Nagapatnam event, there was no problem. Nobody was there on the roads. Only at that meeting point, people were there. But that Nagapatnam was a flop.
Okay.
There were no eye-catching.
Tushar Gupta, would you like to come in here? Mr. Saravanan of the DMK says that Vijay and his party ended up flouting the rules, and that's why the crowd could not be controlled.
Then it's a crime against the state. It's very simple. If I am to believe Mr. Sarvanan, if the rules were indeed flouted, if the NOCs were indeed flouted, if the entire approval process was bypassed or it wasn't adhered to, then it's a crime against the state. Look, it's not about DMK versus actor Vijay. This is a government, a state government, which gave a sanction for a political rally, as Mr. Sarvanan saying that the permission was for 10,000 people. If there were more number of people, if the temporary structures or the arrangements were not proper, this is a crime against the state. And now the DMK government being, in power, they need to prosecute him. It's that simple. This is not something we can take lightly or we can just blame it on the crowd. In a political rally, unlike any other event, the buck stops at the organizers, the buck stops at the one who are giving these permissions as well. So if the ones who are giving the permission, in this case the DMK, feel that the rules have been flouted, then this is a crime against the state. It's that simple. And they should take it through a legal route because the families deserve justice. At this point also, we cannot restrict ourselves to, what the DMK said or what the TVK said. It's not about
Absolutely.
both of them.
Which is what
It's
I
about
asked
the
Mr.
people.
Sarvanan. How many people are you booking right now? If the organizers are the one to blame, including Vijay, have they been booked? And Vijay has been a habitual offender. This is not the first rally that he has organized. Every week, every weekend, every Saturday he's been having these sabhas. Mr. Sarvanan.
Yes, certainly. Action will be initiated. Whoever is responsible, however high they may be, they'll be brought to justice. Justice to the victims are very important. But right now, at this moment, what we are looking at is the relief measures. The Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has deputed Mr. Sendil Balaji. He is a former minister, a strong man of that area. And Mr. Vijay was ridiculing Mr. Sendil Balaji right now. And this is the same Sendil Balaji who's there on ground zero and overlooking the relief measures right now. We want to ensure, see, the top priority of the government is this. We don't want any more of deaths due to injuries. So the hospitals are mobilized, the doctors are mobilized, all the resources are marshaled to the area where this has happened. The health minister is rushing there, and Mr. Anbil Mahesh, who is nearby, is also rushing there. The top cop is already there. So this is going to be the top priority. The chief minister is monitoring the situation minute by minute, and he'll be there. Tomorrow morning he'll be there.
Okay.
He'll
Sumant,
monitor everything.
Sumant, I'd like to bring you in here. Mr. Sarvanan says the priorities are in place. Right now, the priority is to look for any other people who might be injured to bring them to the hospital, and the entire framework is in place. Many more doctors are coming into Karur to ensure just that. Your views on the kind of statements that have come to fore so far?
I am a little perplexed as with what's going on here. The buck of maintaining crowd control and law and order stops at the door of the state government and local administration. It is their job to ensure that the situation is kept under control. If more than 10,000 people were getting into the meeting, they could have been stopped. The police has full and every right to say, you have got permission for 10,000 people. There are more than 10,000 people. Nobody else can come. That could have saved the situation. 33 lives could have been saved. And I'm amazed that there are people who are actually sitting here. And of course, Vijay is at fault. Vijay needs to be prosecuted. There is no question about it. Every meeting there have been talk about how some tragedy is likely to happen because of poor crowd control, because of flouting of the rules. This morning, for instance, they said he will be at Namakkal at 8:45. He was leaving Chennai at 8:45. So definitely Vijay and the TVK are at fault. Absolutely no doubt, and action must be taken. But it is also the state government's job. Whose responsibility is it to ensure law and order and crowd control? You cannot say
Absolutely.
So Vijay is disobeying.
And that is a fair point. Mr. Vikram Singh.
1 minute.
Yes.
Vijay has been accused of disobeying the rules last Saturday. He has been accused of disobeying the rules the previous
Before
Saturday.
that, yes.
What action was taken? What action did the state government take?
Absolutely, he has been a repeat offender, and I continue to mention that. Mr. Vikram Singh, how is the DMK saying that the police under the DMK is appearing so powerless? If the go ahead was for 10,000 people, how did the police allow more people to assemble?
I find this to be totally unacceptable. The excuse that the hands were tied. The government can never take this alibi that the hands were tied. They have to act proactively and act effectively. In this case, probably they looked the other way, and this was totally a heart-rending tragedy and an avoidable one at that. All the rules that are supposed to there to regulate crowds, to have contingency plans, to have a backup for a backup, to have ambulances, CPR facilities, drinking water. I do suppose that nothing like this had ever happened. And if the permission was granted, it was for 10,000, then the police should have intervened straight away. More so when the Tamil Nadu police is one of the most articulate and the most tech-savvy police forces in the country. They should have used the drone technology to see and monitor the crowd movement, egress and ingress, and to have taken preventive measures right in the beginning, rather than allow the crowds to take over the roads. And then it was a mayhem and a free for all, an avoidable tragedy, and the government cannot wash its hands. And then the police also. The police cannot also absolve themselves because they are supposed to make the foolproof and fail-proof arrangements. What to talk of fail-proof and foolproof arrangements? There are no arrangements. It is just a free-for-all. As you can see, that the people are trying to fend for themselves, and these are such, I mean, these will shake you. I think the visuals that you are showing just now, the people running helter and skelter for drinking water, for CPR, for basic rudimentary medical attention, that is not there. With this kind of a crowd, you had probably promised 10,000. Well, Mr. Vijay has a lot of explaining to do, because the close coordination between the rally organizers or the Sabha organizers and the local police is an imperative. And on the basis of the mutual agreement, police arrangements and reinforcements are organized. But I suppose nothing like this has happened. Both the government and the police department are fully responsible for this heart-rending tragedy, and they can see what better they could have done, what are the contingency plans, and what are the lessons drawn. 31 deaths. I mean, this is totally heart-rending, avoidable tragedy, and the police could have done much better. I can see that indeed they are not even in the gear that are expected to be in such situations. Obviously, the reinforcements were drawn in a great hurry, and they came in working uniform, not in a riot gear or in a gear that would be appropriate in crowd management. I was very disappointed to see the arrangements. I had expected a lot more, but yes, and this is just not the time for allegations, counter allegations.
Absolutely. And if the DMK is talking about priorities, then these priorities need to have been put in place. We have this latest tweet by Raksha Mantri Mr. Rajnath Singh also on this tragedy that is emerging out of Tamil Nadu. This is what he goes on to say, and I'm quoting, "Deeply anguished by the tragic accident at a rally in Karur in Tamil Nadu. The loss of innocent lives is truly heartbreaking. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families, praying for the speedy recovery of those who are injured." Unquote. Mr. Saravanan, in fact, I'm told that we don't have Mr. Saravanan anymore. Tushar, would like to come to you. Does it look like a case of the DMK turning its back on another one of Vijay's rally, considering he is a political opponent and they did not want to give two hoots to whatever is happening in the rally, considering this is week after week, these rallies that he continues to be a part of?
Look, the rallies will go on. It's the election year. Next year's election year in Tamil Nadu. But this is not about what the DMK or the TVK feel. This is a crime against the state. And the state also failed to discharge its duty. It's that simple. We don't have to put a political lens on it. The DMK was responsible for giving the permissions for ensuring that no such incident happens. The police was with the DMK, being the state government. TVK flouted all the norms. This is a crime against the state, and the state needs to act. I'll look at it very simply. I don't want to get into the part where, TVK was saying that the DMK is not allowing it to do political rallies and stuff like that. It already happened last time. My problem is it already happened. A person lost his life in Vijay's rally. That was also happening in a peak hot day. And arrangements should have been made. At least the organizers should have been more careful this time. The police should have been more careful this time. But to take Sarvanan's point from DMK, if it's a crime against the state, will you book Vijay? The buck stops at Vijay. That's what I'm saying. Will the state government go ahead and say, no, actor Vijay, the organizer, is responsible, we are going to book him? Or will they also look at the whole political dynamics here? The problem is every time this happens, and this happened once very long ago when in a political rally, I think it was Delhi, when a person hanged himself from the tree. everyone was like, oh, it is something to do with the crowd, it is something to do with the political parties. It's never about the political parties. This is somewhere the state has to step in, discharge its duty, be responsible, and this is where the organized need to be responsible as well. If both of them cannot find a balance, if both of them cannot do their duty, both are failing the people of Tamil Nadu at the end of the day, and the people at the end are the ones dying.
Right. Sumansi Raman, what do you think has been happening here? The people who are responsible for organizing these rallies for Vijay, I believe they're the same ones. They have so far remained scot-free from any kind of action. If at all the DMK is wringing its hand in the air and they are saying that they were flouting the norms. What was the police doing is the big question. But how have the organizers managed to remain scot-free so far? Because again, going back and repeating that question, this is not the first time such a controversy has happened, although the expanse of the tragedy this time is really massive.
Yeah, it is. And look, there have been a couple of FIRs that have been filed earlier, but nothing beyond that has happened. So I think probably the government felt that if they actually crack down on the TVK for these violations, then that may end up giving more sympathy to actor Vijay, who could exploit and then claim victimization by the government. So probably they didn't act on that occasion. But I think today the difference was, look, the crowds were massive. The crowds in Namakkal were huge but in the morning, but the crowds in Karur were absolutely massive. And at some stage, the local administration should have figured out that something like this could happen and prevented more people from coming in. Now, whether that was done, it was attempted, it was not done, I think an inquiry, obviously there will be an inquiry into this tragedy, and that will tell us whether the police actually tried to prevent more people from coming in to the venue. But again, if somebody has been given permission to speak between 11 and 12 in the afternoon or 2 and 3 in the afternoon and turns up at 8 in the night, what prevents you from stopping him? You are the police. I've never understood this.
Absolutely, and why could he not have been escorted out? If at all he did not maintain that timeline, why could he not have been escorted out?
Look, you've seen so many of these election meetings where the code of conduct kicks in and people say, look, I cannot speak beyond this time, and they just say, have a namaste, and they walk on. Yes. Leaders do that. Yes. So you could easily have said, look, I'm sorry, the rules of the permissions granted have been violated. I cannot make a speech. I'm just, doing a namaste and moving on. The police could have insisted on that. So this is definitely Vijay and the TVK need to answer. They need to be prosecuted for what has happened, for this huge tragedy. But equally, the state government is also answerable, particularly the local administration, the Karur district superintendent of police, the district collector. All of them need to answer how they let this thing happen. This was something which people have been talking about as a possibility for the last several weeks. It is not that this is the first time at a Vijay rally people have thought that some disaster could strike. They've been speaking about this for weeks together, and nothing was done to ensure that these rallies were conducted in a more organized
manner. It's not just the people or the politicians or the senior leaders. Tushar, I'd like your inputs on this. It's also the High Court that had underscored that there are safety lapses at TVK rallies, because remember, this is not the first rally that one is talking about. How we are seeing similar rallies over the course of these several weeks. Every week, every Saturday, Vijay holds these rallies. This was pointed out to, in fact, that damage to property that one is learning of at one of Vijay's rallies. Of course, there were FIRs against his bouncers. That's one controversy. But there have been how security lapses have been pretty much in place, and that has been mentioned by the High Court.
Absolutely. And see, this is what happens. If the DMK were to act against him, in the sense they would have restricted the crowd at his rallies, for example, the narrative or the question would have been, oh, is the DMK trying to sabotage Vijay? So in our country, whenever it comes out about the question about safety or about the people comes up, it's always prioritized less than the political parties. That is where things go wrong. Today also, we are worried about what happens between DMK and TVK. We are not asking a very simple question. There are still a few months to go for the elections in Tamil Nadu. Actor Vijay undoubtedly will do more political rallies. What about the arrangements then? What about the permissions then? What about the administration then? The DMK cannot shake off the responsibility entirely, saying, oh, we warned him, he does not listen. If he does not listen, I'm again stressing this. It's a crime against the state, book him. Don't worry how it will play out in the election. If he's risking the life of the people of Tamil Nadu for his political points, then he's
Yes.
committing a crime against the state. It's that simple. You cannot beat around the bush saying,
And it's
oh, but
it's the
this happened, that
court.
happened.
It's the court, and Mr. Vikram Singh, your inputs are needed here. It's the court that has ordered the government to frame these rules for such rallies, to frame uniform rally safety rules. It has been ordered by the court. That needs to have been put in place. Advance payments that were suggested by the court. Also, accountability of organizers. Once again, the organizers' role becomes of absolute and paramount importance here. All of these things should have been looked at.
This adds a whole new dimension to the horrible, avoidable tragedy. It's bad enough that the court had to intervene, and worse still, that the solemn orders of the court were not implemented, what to talk of in letter, but not even in spirit. So, with this kind of callousness that I choose to defy the instructions given by the Honorable Court, I choose to look the other way. Otherwise, had there been a SOP or some kind of a mechanism to ensure that the crowds are managed, proper police arrangements are made, contingency plans are in positions, and the contingency routes and escape routes are there, this tragedy was totally avoidable. You had the huge Kumbh Mela, and yes, it went off flawlessly. But this was a totally avoidable tragedy, and you said the star narcissism. Vijay ji is doing samagams, the sabhas and rallies. Well, you are certainly welcome to it, but you cannot absolve yourself responsibility. You have to take the permission from the local administration and the police have to do a survey, do a rehearsal, and then, if required, do another rehearsal if there is any flaw or any hitch that has emerged during the course of rehearsal. Be in constant touch with the organizers and have a fair assessment, both intelligence, ground, and social media monitoring about, and assess the crowd that is likely to come, and then make the police arrangements, again, I would say, fail-proof, foolproof, and also the add-on facilities that the civic authorities need to do: drinking water, medical and health, emergency services, and whatever you can see that the contingency plans catered for everything that you never taken by surprise. And here, I'm sorry to say, you were caught on the wrong foot. When I say you, I would mean the police, the local administration, the medical department were caught on the wrong foot. Nothing seems to be in a position. People in total disillusion, disarray, begging for medicine and CPR. I mean, it will bleed anybody's heart to see these visuals. But I wish we draw our lessons, refrain from leveling allegations. This is a tragedy that needs to be addressed by one and all.
Right, absolutely. I'd request my guests to stay with us. We are getting some more important voices that are putting out condolences on social media. I will put out this tweet of the Home Minister's also. He too is talking about how he's deeply pained by the tragic loss of lives in the stampede in Karur in Tamil Nadu. Heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased. I pray to the Almighty to give them the strength to bear this grief and for the speedy recovery of the ones injured. That is what the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is saying. We also are hearing from the Raj Bhavan in Tamil Nadu, where Governor Arun Ravi has put out this tweet: deeply pained and anguished by the tragic loss of innocent lives, including children, during a political rally in Karur. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families in this time of grief, and prayers for the speedy recovery of those injured. Sumant, we are now learning from the DMK that the Chief Minister is going to be visiting Karur tomorrow. He's already got 2 of his ministers on the job, and we heard Senthil Balaji. So far, the response from the DMK, other than how they are trying to shift the blame only on Vijay, as if it has got nothing to do with them, how do you see this response?
No, I think that's expected, because they have a very, very powerful ecosystem on social media, and they have complete control of the mainstream media. So the mainstream media will only put out whatever viewpoint that the state government would like them to put out, what the DMK would want them to put out. So that's to be expected. But look, common sense will tell the public that the responsibility for ensuring law and order rests on both sides. It is with a political party, which is the organizer of the meeting, to ensure that all cooperation is provided to the police. And at the end of the day, the buck stops with the police, with the state government, who have to ensure that law and order and crowd control are maintained. Now, it's all very well to say the organizers violated rules, but they've been violating rules for the last several weeks and nothing has been done. So why did you believe that they will not violate the rules today? And if the crowd promised permission was given for 10,000 people, and let's say when the crowd swelled to say 15,000 or 20,000, why was no action taken? That is really the point.
It's
Now,
also the failure
clearly
of
the
the
action may
DMK
not have been
government, because
taken.
I also wanted to again bring in that point of how this order came in from the High Court, that you need to ensure a safety when it is about these rallies, and that was a response wholly and solely of the state government. They failed in implementing those rules correctly.
Absolutely. I think that, look, if this was the first time, you could say, look, how can the state government anticipate that Vijay would violate the rules? He's been accused of violating the rules. You filed FIRs against him. Your own government has filed FIRs against him earlier for violating the rules. And now you go and say, we didn't know that he will violate the rules and he violated the rules and it's all his fault. Of course it is Vijay's fault. Of course it is the TVK's fault.
Yes.
But it is also the state government, local administration that should have prevented this tragedy. There is no doubt at all. And trying to blame only Vijay for this tragedy is not the right approach at all. But that is what is expected from the ruling party. And that is the playbook that you'll see played out on social media, accusing Vijay of having caused this entire tragedy without delving too deeply into the role of the local administration or the state police.
While we talk about how many of these very, very popular and senior veteran actors who have gone into the political arena of the state of Tamil Nadu, there is one name that comes, which is that of Rajnikant. He too has in fact tweeted about this tragedy, and he says the news of the loss of innocent lives in the incident that occurred in Karur shakes the hearts and causes immense grief. My deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. Comfort to those who were injured. So these voices are trickling in. We're also learning that ADPK Palani Swami is going to be leaving for Karur tomorrow. The DMK chief and the chief minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, is also going to be in Karur tomorrow. So all of these details are also slowly trickling in. We're also learning that Mr. Stalin will be holding a consultative meeting at the Secretariat, and this meeting happens very, very soon. We'll try and bring in our colleague Purnima to get us more details about that meeting. But these are this is what we're learning of in the aftermath of the tragedy that has happened in Karur in Tamil Nadu. All this at a rally in Karur, which Vijay was a part of, where he'd invited people to a grievance redressal meet at the Urani ground in Karur. This happened on September 27th was when this was supposed to happen, between 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. But he had already announced his coming to Karur at 8:35 in the morning, and that's when the people started to assemble. The permission as per the DMK was given of 10,000 people. The arrangements that were made was, and this is the point to note here, 1.2 lakh chairs, 60 giant LED screens, space for over 10,000 more people outside. What was the number that he was planning on achieving? Sumant, would you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very clear that, but come on, again, the question comes back. If you are asking for 1 lakh chairs, what are the chairs for? If you're going to get permission for 10,000 people, the obvious question comes as to why you need 1 lakh chairs. Why are you getting so many people in over and above the numbers that you have promised that you will restrict yourself to? And the point is, when the crowd built, look, this crowd did not assemble in 15 minutes. The crowd has been assembling from morning.
Yes.
And been all over social media saying that there are huge crowds waiting at Karur while he was in Namakkal. When he was in the previous venue at his talk, the crowds had already started building up in Karur. So they had plenty of time to anticipate that this crowd is more than the 10,000 that has been promised.
Oh, absolutely. And Tushar, I would also want you to come in here, and I would request my producers to, if at all, we can put out that rally notice on air as well. This is a notice that is dated 25th of September. So 2 days earlier on, this notice was put out for people to come in to in fact put out their grievances. It was a grievance redressal meet in Urani ground in Karur that was supposed to happen between 3 and 10 p.m. today. And the arrangements that were made, remember, even as DMK talks about 10,000 odd people assembly permission that was granted to TVK and to Vijay, the arrangement that was being made of, please make a note of this number, everyone, it's 1.2 lakh chairs which were there at the venue. There were 60 giant LED screens. This is no longer just 10,000 that one is talking about. And the announcement that was made 2 days in advance, Tushar.
Covered a couple of rallies, a couple of elections where the Prime Minister was rallying. And even at the Prime Minister's rally, you do not have the requirement of 100,000 chairs. Even at the Prime Minister's rally in a Hindi heartland state. I don't know what actor Vijay was attempting to do. I don't know what kind of grievances he wanted to address. This purely looks like a political stunt. Now, the political stunt may have been to target the DMK, but eventually it's the people who have suffered. In no political rally, even by the Congress or the BJP or, some other regional party, RJD or Samajwadi party, do you ever come across a question of needing 100,000 chairs? You cannot accommodate such a big number. You cannot have a person listening to such a huge number of people at a given point of time. So I don't know what he was really trying to do. This is just perhaps political posturing, but at what cost? And this is where I'm saying a crime has been committed against the state. The state needs to react. I really hope this doesn't get lost in the political bickering, which has already begun.
Right, absolutely.
But
Mr. Vikram Singh,
100,000
I'd want
chairs
your views on this. This particular rally note, the announcement that was made on 25th of September for that rally that was supposed to take place today, the time that was given was 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. A grievance redressal that Vijay was going to do of so many people. The assembly didn't just boast of 10,000. That was not the meager number that it boasted of. The number of chairs that were ordered were way more than a lakh.
This is getting to be bizarre by the minute. I'm shocked to hear that, and as you very rightly, one of the esteemed panelists mentioned, 100,000 chairs is unheard of. And I have served in UP in North India for 36 years, and I was talking about, and all the VIP duties I have never heard of something like this. 100,000, the cost, the logistics, the arrangements to be made, and were the police asleep? Was the intelligence department asleep? Were they oblivious of the fact that such arrangements are being made by the organizers? Vijay and his team were making these mammoth arrangements. What were they doing, and how did they attend to it or address it? There is the drone technology. There are so many other things that you could have done, machine learning, and obviously the fact that when 100,000 chairs are moving, the local police, you really have to be extremely inept if you're absolutely blissfully unaware of what is happening.
Absolutely.
And the result of grievances, well, what kind of grievances would have redressed in those few hours? That was just an alibi.
Right. Sumant, I'd want your views on this because there's a tweet now by Annamalai. And this is what it reads. Of course, he's talking about how there are condolences that are in order for people who have lost their lives. And he wants the state government to do as much as it is required to do for the people who are injured. But he says, and I'm quoting again from his tweet, for a political party's gathering, it is the responsibility of the police to accurately estimate the number of attendees, select an appropriate venue accordingly, and deploy an adequate number of police personnel to ensure the safety of the public attending the event. There are also reports that electricity was disrupted during Mr. Vijay's gathering. The Tamil Nadu government and the police acting with such negligence is highly condemnable. The DMK government, which deploys the entire district police force to provide security for gatherings organized by the DMK leaders, and this of course is a political attack which Annamalai eventually goes on to make, but he's making this crucial point. It is the state government's responsibility. He also talks about how electricity was disrupted during one leg of Vijay's rally, Sumant.
Yeah, I think already on social media the theories have started. I think one should not give them too much of attention in the absence of any hard evidence, but the conspiracy theorists have already started putting out stuff. Now, as far as Mr. Annamalai is concerned, he has put out his theory. I think that needs to be investigated. There will be, in any case, a full-scale inquiry into this tragedy. Having said that, I think the bottom line is simple. What is the action that the state government is now going to take against Mr. Vijay, against against the TVK, and also against the local administration who are part of the state government? So all of them have to be jointly held responsible for what has happened. And over the next few days, we are going to be seeing whether the state government is really going to show intent in this, or it's just going to again buckle down and file a couple of FIRs and then let everything drift in the hope that public memory will be shot. One hopes not. This kind of tragedy should not happen again. This was so predictable. This should have been prevented. It was the duty of both the TVK and the local administration to have ensured that it did not happen. And now that it has happened, I think justice must be done to the victims, their families, and all those who are injured in this huge tragedy. And I think that the best way of ensuring that is to ensure that those guilty in whatever form, whether they are government or non-government or party people or TVK or whoever, are brought to justice. And I think that that is something that the state government must resolve to do.
Right, absolutely. I request my guests to please stay on with us. I'd need your inputs, but I would want to get an important piece of input from my colleague Purnima Murli, who has all the details of what all has happened so far. Purnima, we are learning of about 40 people who have lost their lives. We're learning of many more injured who are in the hospital, and the fact that the Chief Minister's visit to Karur tomorrow has already been announced. What are the details that you're picking up?
Well, at least 40 fear dead, more than 50 still undergoing treatment. Doctors from Salem and Namakkal have been dispatched, and they've been asked to go to Karur. Remember, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister currently is at the Secretariat. He's going to hold consultative meeting. He's already deputed two ministers who are en route to Karur. DMK Karur MLA and former Minister Sendil Balaji is already there. Visiting the hospitals and taking stock of the situation. A short while ago, he held a press conference and he said that women, children, among it was then 31, that is what he confirmed, but now it's at 40. And what we are given to understand is that Tamil Nadu cops are likely to register an FIR against Vijay, is what we are picking up from reporters on ground, but we'll have to wait for an official confirmation from the police. But at the moment, an FIR likely against Vijay is what we are given to understand. Tomorrow, all the leaders from Chief Minister M.K. Stalin to Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin to the leader of opposition Edappadi Palaniswamy will all visit Karur. But at the moment, they are monitoring the situation. Sendil Balaji says that at the moment, the focus is to ensure that treatment is given to more than 50 people to ensure that they are safe. So that's the priority of the government, is what Sendil Balaji reiterated. No political statements made by the DMK just yet. But you were likely to register an FIR.
In fact, we also need to underline Vijay's whereabouts. We are learning that he has, in fact, left Trichy airport. No word so far. So many deaths and no word from Vijay or his team so far, Purnima.
Absolutely.
These are in fact the visuals also of Vijay and his cavalcade that is leaving Trichy. We're also putting out the visuals. Yes, Purnima, do go ahead. I was just telling the viewers that these are the visuals of Vijay. And let's take a look at these visuals first. And he just left. He did not even bother to address the assembled media. They were not heckling him. They're asking certain questions of him. After all, we are talking about so many people who have died, Purnima.
Absolutely. You can see the visuals on your screen. Now, the reporters there trying to ask him a question regarding the Karur tragedy, and there his people are trying to protect him. He really doesn't want to answer. He just enters the airport while the reporters there try to put the mic and ask him question. He did not want to speak. No statement yet from TVK in this regard. However, this certainly is going to escalate, considering that Vijay and Tamilnaga Vetri Kazhagam as a party remains tight-lipped so far. At least 40 fear dead, but no statement. Vijay too not really answering questions at the airport to Trichy. That's the Trichy airport where reporters are trying to get a statement from him, but he remains tight-lipped, as you can see the visuals on the screen.
Right, absolutely, Purnima. You also talk about a consultative meeting that MK Stalin is a part of. The meeting is underway at the moment as we speak, Purnima. Is that right?
The meeting has just begun. Just a short while ago, we saw visuals of Chief Minister's car entering the Secretariat. So, sources from the Tamil Nadu government say that Chief Minister has begun a consultative meeting. Remember, Sendil Balaji is already there. The DMK Karur MLA and former minister is there in Karur, taking stock of the situation. Says that providing assistance to those who are undergoing treatment is the priority. Therefore, many doctors from nearby districts are being dispatched to Karur. That's one thing that Sendil Balaji said. Two more ministers, Anbil Mahesh Poyamuri and Health Minister Masubramaniam, will also be reaching Karur tomorrow. Chief Minister himself will be visiting Karur. So all eyes
that
on the
consultative meeting that you're talking about, Purnima, we have the visuals up on the screen, and we can see the DMK chief and the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin arriving for that meeting. So that meeting, Purnima is mentioning, is underway, a consultative meeting right ahead of this news of this tragedy that's come out of Karur. So the Chief Minister, many members of the DMK in a huddle, they are looking at the situation closely, monitoring the situation, and the Chief Minister, MK Stalin, there on your screens, is going to be in Karur tomorrow. Anything else that you're picking up as far as the hospital updates are concerned, Purnima, considering there are many people who have been admitted to the hospital on account of injury?
Well, more than 50 still undergoing treatment. Government, private hospitals, and Sendil Balaji said that even at private hospitals, the Tamil Nadu government is going to bear the expenses, and they are trying to rush people who fainted to all the hospitals, whether it's a government hospital or private hospital, and that they need more doctors considering the number of people who are still undergoing treatment. Therefore, from Salem and Namakkal, 20 doctors from each of these districts have also been asked to reach Karur at the earliest. So that's something that even Sendil Balaji had said in that short press conference, and they are trying to ensure that assistance is provided. Medical assistance is provided to all those who are currently undergoing treatment. Saving their lives is the utmost priority, is what Sendil Balaji said, and he said he is taking stock of the situation, and they are trying to ensure that the best treatment is given to all those who are currently undergoing treatment. But at the moment, the death toll climbs to 40. We'll have to wait for more updates. But at the moment,
this tragedy is getting bigger. 40 deaths that we learn of so far, and that's how sad the state of affairs are. This is what is the report that's emerging out of Karur in Tamil Nadu. Massive rally that Vijay was a part of. He's just left Trichy, by the way. He refused to answer any of the questions that were being posed of him. All the accountability that he also needs to ensure is something that he cannot shy away from. He's definitely deciding to so far steer clear of any kind of questions the scribes were trying to ask of him. We have our guests who are joining us. Mr. R. Rajgopalan, a senior journalist, is with us. Harish Mohammed Ibrahim is a political analyst, is also with us. Mr. Rajgopalan, would want to bring you in here. The kind of reports that are coming out of Karur, the death toll that is only rising, the number has just gone up to 40, and there is a blame game that is underway. DMK is trying to absolve itself from any kind of blame. They are saying that Vijay didn't listen. Is that enough?
No, my understanding is that DMK has done extremely well because Chief Minister has gone to the Secretariat and he is seeing overlooking the